So going back to the consultation, in terms of staff, what were their biggest concerns? Presumably that making the change would have some impact on their terms and conditions?
Yes, yeah, that was the first thing. So the fact that we were able to make a commitment and convey that to staff early in the process, that we were not looking to change terms and conditions upon conversion, was a significant factor in just reassuring people. So then people wanted to find out, well, what about the practicalities in terms of payroll, in terms of maternity leave, in terms of benefits, and how would we manage that? So payroll became our number one priority, to make sure that the procurement of payroll was absolutely right. Now, it's fair to say we'd had a very good payroll service from our local authority, and at the end of the day it came down to value for money in that particular context, in that there was a significant difference between the service offer by other external providers who had significant academy experience and the local authority, and unfortunately there wasn't any room for negotiation made available. So we went with an external provider, and one of the things that we undertook to do to make sure that things went through smoothly, so for us a success measure was the first pay date for staff completed smoothly. So we asked our payroll provider to do a dummy run the month before conversion to show that the system was all geared up, everybody's details had been transferred over as part of the commercial transfer agreement from the local authority over to the new providers, and we paid everybody a penny the month before we were due to convert. So obviously this is after a decision to convert has been taken, but before the actual conversion date has taken place. And so we knew immediately then that we had everybody's details in place, and that was working efficiently. So that ran smoothly. In terms of the benefits, that was another quite important one. Some people had bought into a cycle scheme, so there was discounted purchase available for some bicycles through this particular scheme that we were operating with the local authority. There was childcare vouchers, and there was discounted gym membership. So those were sort of three aspects, three benefits, if you like, that staff were entitled to and were making good use of under the maintained arrangements that we needed to research and look into. So the childcare provision, or the childcare voucher provision, we managed to procure through a different provider. The gym membership and the cycle schemes we managed to retain just through negotiations with the local authority and the local authority owned leisure centre, which happens to be right next door to the school. So those things worked out very well. So we were able to again work hard to focus on what we knew to be concerns for staff, to have those discussions with providers and ensure that arrangements were put in place that either retained the same service or offer or was provided through a different provider.
So that's for your existing staff that were tupied over, carried across.
Yes.
Have you changed anything for new staff?
No.
Right,
No.
okay. Because you could see that there would be an opportunity to do that.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Again, in terms of TUPE, I think it's quite important that, if you've made a decision that you're not going to change terms and conditions upon conversion, that those processes and consultation with the trade unions takes place in a timely way, so that, again, you give the opportunity for people to raise and voice concerns that are opposed to any potential conversion to academy status, that you take those on board seriously and you work hard to address them by consulting with staff. So that ongoing dialogue, I went in as chair to a number of different staff assemblies. I do that quite regularly anyway, but it made it more important than ever for my face on behalf of the governing body to be represented at staff forums whenever and wherever that was possible, to make sure that they're hearing it direct, if you like, from the governing body, that it's not always through a third party, even though the head teacher is part of the governing body, but actually they were hearing that commitment face to face.
Did you lose any staff as a result of the change? Because obviously there's always turnover.
Yes.
But
yes.
did any?
No. We did have staff. It's fair to say that we're quite opposed to the fact that a conversion may take place. We did have allow, if you like, or provide the opportunities for trade unions to meet separately with staff to have those conversations. We invited the trade unions in to talk to the governing body to present their sort of views, which were opposed to academy status, and making sure therefore that those kinds of conversations were going on, that they had the opportunity and the time to reflect on, what was it that was really concerning them, and to feed that back through to the governing body to make sure that we could address whatever concerns that they had. So no, we didn't have anybody leave. And again, I would say it was almost partly to do with the ethos again of the school, in that we've always been so inclusive, we've always consulted with stakeholders on any key changes, that there was that element of trust there because of the good relationship that had already been built up over time between staff and the governing body. And of course we have staff governors, and I have to say they were critical again in providing a different route into the governing body to voice concerns. If people were concerned about giving names, which I say most of the time isn't the case anyway, but if people had anxieties that they wanted to convey, but not maybe face to face when I came in to do a presentation or anything, then there was the opportunity for them to speak to a staff governor, and for the staff governor to feed that in to the working group and also to the full governing body.